this year a continuation of what things became mid-season last year?
Yeah, very much similar capacity, I would say. You know, it was a lot of things that carried over into, from the end of the season into the Senior Bowl and the evaluation process and of the draft class and those types of things, and then here into spring, with a lot of focus on tight ends and all that stuff. So.
What goes into the passing game coordination aspect of your role?
Sure, yeah. Really, it's to support Ben and the pass game in all aspects, really, And again, my focus is going to be a little bit more in the tight end area, but really just to be a supporting member of the coaching staff with Ben and, probably just a little bit more emphasis in the pass game, than maybe some of the other portions of the offensive scheme, I would say, yeah.
On the other side of the ball, AG talks about how Aubrey is from the same tribe defensively, right? So
yeah.
They kind of speak the same language. I wonder if it works the same way offensively, or is it almost better to kind of have different backgrounds that you can kind of marry into a broader offensive scheme? How does that work with you and Ben? How similar are your backgrounds?
Yeah, sure. So I think Ben's been in several different backgrounds, and I've been in a couple different ones, and really my initial background, I would say, really is more in a West Coast offense version. Just going back to my first year in coaching in 2005 for Jim Harbaugh, and Johnny Moe, Coach Morton, was our pass game coordinator and receivers coach that year. So being the GA there, just kind of learned that's where I started with that stuff, and then being in a couple different places, evolving into just iterations of that offense, I would say, and Ben's been, I think, in a handful of them, down in Miami and here, with Coach Bev and all that stuff. So I think it's good to be able to draw from a bunch of different areas, of his experiences, and then I can bring some stuff to the table, and everybody just kind of puts it, bring it all together. So there's a lot of different experience, I guess you could say, in that way. Sure.
I was just going to say, you've obviously been working at the profession for a while, but a year ago you were throwing passes. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Here you are now, with your own position. And I just wonder what this rise has been like for you, I guess.
It's been really fun. When Coach Campbell kept me on from the previous staff, I just wanted to add value wherever I could, and I don't want to say prove myself, but it wasn't my first job, I would say. So I'd been coaching for a few years prior to that, but it was my real first time, I guess, in the NFL. So I wanted to make sure that I was a good support for everybody, whether that was Coach Campbell or Coach Lynn or whoever it may have been, Brew. So I just wanted to, I guess, I don't want to say earn your stripes, but maybe earn your stripes at the NFL level for sure.
And you must have done that in an impressive way, I guess, as you sort of look back. I mean, it's not just like you got the position coach title, you got an added title as well. So I don't know, what do you think you did last year that impressed Dan, impressed the players, that got you to this spot?
Great question. That's a tough one. Sure. I'll say this. I mean, I'll take pride in my work and just being a valuable asset to the staff, and just trying to do the best I can with the given role and opportunities that are thrown at me, and just try to really help the staff and the team accomplish our goals and just, work that way. Yeah. Say it again?
So you still got the arm ready just in case.
There's still a few throws back in there,
What do you like the most of the changes, some of the changes that Ben's made to the offense and the passing game in particular, with the input of Jared and going back to doing some of the things that he does pretty well?
Sure. I think one of the best things that we're doing is really focusing on what our guys do well. As we find out what they do well, we had an idea, but really pushing the envelope in what can they do, how well they can do it, how detailed can we be in the pass game, not let little things slip, I think. Just really finding what the guys do best and really try to focus in on those different types of things.
In that regard, what about building depth at tight ends? You have multiple players that can do multiple things.
Yeah.
The kid Wright, I think, played the last 10 or 11 years.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah, no, we're continuing to develop the depth there at that position. Obviously, clearly, we have TJ there at the top, and he's a phenomenal player and a great guy to have in the group. And then a young guy like Brock last year, I mean, he kind of came into OTAs last year. Nobody really knew much about him, and shoot, he starts with the last like 8 games of the year or something like that. And he did a heck of a job, and it's a credit to him, just really of his hard work and his really his ability to absorb information and be a coachable kid. He's just done a phenomenal job for us.
Just in general, how important is it, or how valuable is it to have multiple tight ends who can play at a really good level?
Yeah, I think it's very valuable. When you can play with multiple tight ends on the field, it really kind of puts the stress on a defense, I think, especially if you have guys that can flex into different areas per se. Maybe where you can get them into a nickel defense, and we've got 12 personnel or 2 tight ends on the field, and maybe we can take advantage of the defense in a certain way that way, as opposed to maybe a different defense that they may have out there if they were in, say, a base defense. And maybe we have a really good pass-catching tight end such as TJ. We can go ahead and attack a defense that way, and create those matchups that we want when those guys are on the field.
Another developmental guy, Zylstra.
Yeah.
I know Campbell likes to say this is pajamas time, right? Like, you're not in pads, you don't really know. But I think a lot of us were kind of surprised he was out here given the injury he suffered at the end of last season. And on top of that, we see him making quite a few plays. So what have you liked about his development between the first and second season?
Yeah, I think his resiliency. I mean, talking about the injury, coming off the injury at the end of last year, and that was gross. I mean, it was I don't like to watch the clip. It was gross. And he was very fortunate that he has done a terrific job in his rehab to get himself into a position to be able to be out here and really participate 100% in what we've been doing. And again, he just works hard. He's trying to prove himself, and he's playing much faster right now than he was, say, last year. Just understanding his role, the jobs and the details of the things that we're asking him to do is enabling him to, I guess, show his skill set as we've seen a little bit down here in some of these red zone periods and such. So I think that's something that he's done a really nice job at, just working hard. No, go ahead.
A sense of what Mitchell will be for you yet?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no. I can't say enough good things about James so far. He's done a phenomenal job in what we've asked him to do, and really that's in rehab and in the classroom. And so he takes it upon himself. He's doing a really nice job of learning the offense in a couple different areas, and just trying not to fall behind mentally, which can be easy when you're not getting those physical reps. So he's doing a really nice job. And then if you go back and watch his tape, and shoot, man, the guy he averages a ton of yards per catch in college, and so he's shown some of those abilities, and he's shown the ability to block on the perimeter or run in some different zone scheme type of plays and be effective in the run game too. So we're excited to get him out here in training camp and see what he's got.
You guys have added some explosiveness at the X, and obviously when Jameson comes back to see, and just what you guys can do vertically on the outside, just how much will that open things up, you think, for your guys in the middle? I see you smiling.
Yeah.
You must be a little bit excited. Just when you get a guy like Teej, when you have that kind of speed on the outside, and you have Saint, and then they got to worry about DeAndre, just what kind of expectations do you have for the opportunities that you can have to find good matchups for Teej in the season that you can have?
Yeah, hopefully we can spread the defenses thin a little bit. They got to cover, all the width of the field and all the length of the field, and not perhaps be able to double people as much, and perhaps get TJ and the other guys into some more one-on-ones, whether that's versus linebackers or versus some drop-down safeties. So hopefully that gives us a little bit more space in there for him to isolate and go to work and continue to have the production that he's had.
Guys, time for 2 more.
I know this
Keep
is
hearing.
out of your pay grade a little bit, but just how important is it to get Hockenson done at some point for the future?
Yeah, I can't really speak to that. We'll focus on him when he's out here on the field and in the classroom.
We keep hearing players talking about Ben and his teaching ability, and what is it about him that his ability to make things make sense, I guess? You've been around him.
Yeah. Ben is very thorough, very detailed, and very passionate about what he does, and he conveys the information to the players so that they can understand it, whether that's with examples or whether that's just on the board whatever it may be, he's able to convey the information that we need these guys to know in a clear and concise manner, and he does a phenomenal job at it. He's been fantastic.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yep, no problem, guys.